Hey guys, the Be Different podcast is back, and please make sure to follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all social media, and throw us a like or a comment. It really helps the Be Different podcast move forward. And we're going to jump into it right now, and we're going to do Around the World, which means that the Be Different podcast takes on 5 of the most trending topics in basketball. Today we have one in football as well, just to kind of change it up a little bit. No Greg Wichard, which is disappointing. He had to head over to work, but Brad Bradford is here and Nick Given to my left. And this is actually the first time, Nick, that we have been on the same side.
I'm not a fan
talking.
of sitting.
It's kind of weird how you have to talk, because like normally it's easier because I'm looking forward. And this is a little bit more challenging. Do you see how sometimes the sound gets tight when we're interviewing someone?
We always complain because they never talk into the mic, and now I kind of understand it.
Yeah, and that's just how it goes. So we have 5 topics today, though, Nick. KD turning 30. We have a Big 12 preview. The Flinchgate controversy with Kobe Bryant, which we have no choice but to talk about. Kyrie Irving kind of saying that the earth is no longer flat, but not really. And then we do have a Jim Harbaugh quote that I thought we needed to discuss.
I can't wait for Jimmy.
So KD turning 30 this past week. KD, he was the 2nd overall pick in the NBA draft. That was at 19 years old. And this was after being named the Naismith Player of the Year. KD's also won 2 NBA championships, a NBA regular season MVP, NBA Finals MVP, Rookie of the Year, 2 gold medals. I could probably go on, but Nick, I won't. I think that's enough. But just so we are aware, KD's 30 years old. And we're all either 30 or we're approaching 30. Does it make you depressed at all that we're all about the same age as Kevin Durant right now? And after basically saying what he has accomplished, does it upset you? Does it bother you at all, Nick?
Does it bother me that Kevin Durant's had a great career?
Yeah. Does it bother you?
Not even a little.
It
doesn't bother you? Well,
no,
maybe,
it doesn't.
See, I didn't play basketball at high level, so I have no problem whatsoever with other people's accomplishments.
But isn't it weird that all of our favorite athletes are now either our age or younger for the most part?
That part's a little messed up.
Like, doesn't that? I guess maybe that's the question I think we are trying to determine here. Like, does it bother you?
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it bothers me that I talk a lot about like what 18 to 19 and 20-year-old kids are that play basketball give a shit about, and it kind of bothers me.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I get all caught up into sports now, and they're all like sometimes 10 years younger than me. It's a little bit strange.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Think about Andy. I mean, Andy sits literally in this seat, and those kids could be his grandchildren.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, with Kevin Durant, it's a definite no. I am not jealous of Kevin Durant. And the reason for that is simple. And there's a date in history that will live forever, and that's July 4th, 2016. Nick, are you aware of what that date means in history?
The anniversary of America?
That was the anniversary of Kevin Durant moving from the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, so you think it's irrelevant now?
One of the softest moves ever made by a superstar in any sport ever.
Wow.
Ever. And for that, I will never look at Kevin Durant the same way. Yes, he's one of the best players in the world. Yes, he'll probably win another title with Golden State.
So
but that move alone is the softest move from a superstar in any sport in history by Kevin Durant.
You think being intelligent to go?
It's not intelligent. It was just a bottom line. It was a soft move at Oklahoma City. That was his team. Had Golden State down 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals. If he would have played better in Game 6 or Game 7, especially in the second half of both of those games, Oklahoma City Thunder, they have an NBA championship hanging from the rafters. Instead he decides to join.
Instead, he has 2
the team. Softest move ever.
Going for 3 in a row.
Kevin Durant I'll never look at Kevin Durant in the same eyes as I once did.
You're on the wrong side of history here.
No, I'm not. Nope. Hey, Big 12 preview. We're going to move on right now. Each week we've kind of taken a look at a different conference. We've taken a look at the Big 10. We've taken a look at the Pac-12. This week is the Big 12, and like most years, it seems to be Kansas and then everybody else. Kansas has won 14 straight Big 12 titles in a row. Nick, will it be the 15th in a row for the Kansas Jayhawks?
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any question about this one.
Bill Self,
This, I think, is Bill Self's best team. I think this is his best team.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, this team is going to be special. Very similar to your Kentucky Wildcats. They have a unique mix of younger players, older players. which should bode well for Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks.
When you're able to recruit at the high level like that, and then you get some returners, it's pretty scary.
Scary. You got Azubuike, Silvio De Sousa, Vic came back, Gerald Vic, who tested the NBA waters, came back. You had 5-star prospects. You add the transfer from Memphis, who averaged almost 20 a game. I mean, this team has a very unique mix. I think right now when you look at college basketball as a whole, you have Kansas and Kentucky. I still think those are your best 2 teams moving into this season. And then I think Duke right now is third, though, just because they don't have the veteran talent that Kentucky and Kansas have. So right now, I am putting Kansas and Kentucky slightly ahead of the Duke Blue Devils. And that's not based on talent. It's just when you look at recent years and you see the teams that have won national titles, it has been the mix of 5-star freshmen with veteran players. That has been the formula to win championships. That's why I put Kansas and Kentucky ahead of the Duke Blue Devils right now. But after that, in the Big 12, and you look at Kansas State, should be relatively good. They're coming off a great NCAA tournament run where they made it to the Elite Eight. West Virginia, they're always tough. They're solid defensively. Yes, Javon Carter is not there anymore, but they still have a number of guys returning. The most interesting team probably going to be Texas. Shaka Smart is in his 4th year. Texas has underachieved under Shaka. Will he be able to advance Texas to the NCAA tournament and actually win a game? We will see. But Kansas, they're one of the best teams in the country. Yes, they're going to win the Big 12 again. And Allen Fieldhouse, they should not see any losses this year from the Jayhawks. They should go undefeated at home. Should not lose at home.
No, they shouldn't. They should. I mean, I bet Kansas has a solid 30-win season, and will probably chill their way into the to the Elite Eight minimum.
You look like a Kansas guy to me.
Me?
Yeah. If I was to guess like what kind of fan you were, I would say Kansas. All right, let's go to the topic that has been traveling around the world really over the last week, 3-4 days especially.
3-4 days, it's been pretty heavy.
It's the hashtag Flinchgate controversy. And this is bothering a lot of people right now. And we're talking about Kobe Bryant. One of his more infamous, well-known happenings in a game was Matt Barnes had the ball underneath out of bounds. Kobe Bryant directly in front. Matt Barnes acts like he's going to throw the ball at Kobe Bryant's face, and Kobe Bryant, the Mamba, doesn't move at all. But there are pictures that have been circulating all over the internet that are causing the Flinchgate controversy, and it shows Kobe Bryant swaying and actually being to the side of the ball.
Yeah, they use that overhead angle.
Yeah, and as Matt Barnes is throwing it, it almost looks like Kobe didn't see it or wasn't in front of the ball. What are your thoughts on the Flinchgate controversy? Does it matter to you?
I'm a huge Kobe fan, and I've been a Kobe fan since he came around. Right?
We're both big Kobe fans,
big Kobe
so
guy.
Go ahead.
It doesn't bother my overall outlook on Kobe whatsoever, but I'm going to be honest. It stings a little. It is, because to me, a couple years ago, Matt Barnes came out with an interview, which I'll try to find and put in here.
Okay.
And he basically kind of talks about how it wasn't that big of a deal and everyone blew it up and it wasn't as big and blah, blah, blah. And I always think that he was being a little bitch about it and just couldn't admit that Kobe punked him. And now he's kind of been proven right over the last 3 to 4 days, and it's kind of sad to me.
So I
it's
think
not Kobe's fault.
I think it's still up for debate.
Really?
Yeah, I do, because
if you look at the angle, that was pretty clear.
The ball is still coming at his head, though. So like he is swaying, and so when you're playing defense underneath out of bounds, you usually are shaded slightly to the middle of the floor, which he was.
He's in the right. He's in the correct basketball.
He's in the
position.
correct. Yeah, right. So he's not in front because he has to protect the basket a little bit. The ball, Matt Barnes still has the ball going towards his head. So whether you're directly in front of it or slightly to the side, that ball is still coming at your head. Kobe was asked about this, and he said, and I'll quote him, he said, "You have to remember I was swaying right in front of the ball," meaning Barnes, or meaning, he said, let me say this again. "You have to remember I was swaying right in front of him," meaning Barnes. "He did it, and I didn't balk." Basically saying that he didn't flinch. The ball was coming at his head, and he didn't flinch. My conclusion is, do not discredit the Mamba.
I'm not discrediting him.
Do not discredit the Mamba.
I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying pictures don't often lie, and it is now because of the outside angle. Okay, you're telling me that before this all came out, There was no question. It was a badass move.
Flinched.
Yeah, because I'm not Kobe.
From the side.
But I'm not
you
Kobe.
You flinched from the side.
It was coming right at my head.
So if you're to the side,
Brent,
look how far. You're further away than me.
You didn't put it here. You put it at my head. And if
That's
you
what
look
Matt Barnes did as well.
He didn't.
He put it here. Put it right there. You flinched.
No.
Case closed.
No.
Don't discredit the Mamba.
I'm not discrediting him. I'm just saying it's not. He's in that particular instance. It is not as.
Okay. Well.
We gotta just agree to disagree.
We'll put the video up and figure out what people can say. All right. Kyrie Irving said that the Earth may no longer be flat. Did you watch the? Okay, so we all know that Kyrie Irving very famously in an interview said that the Earth is flat. Very famously. And he was very adamant about it. It became very well known, obviously, that Kyrie Irving said this. He's never said anything that basically went against that statement a couple years ago. He kind of backtracked in a Forbes Under 30 Summit interview, but he really didn't take back his comments fully, did he? Like, so people are saying that he took it back and apologized. Like, he didn't really apologize for his thought process.
The headline says that he took it back, but he didn't really take it back.
Okay, so I know where I stand on this, and I'm curious if you stand where I do.
What's your question?
So I guess the question is, what do you think of Kyrie's response when asked if he still believes that the Earth is flat? Like,
I think he's just saying the bare minimum to not backtrack and to also get people off his back. I think he just because he kind of says he basically says like, you know, sometimes you read and you see things and you know, you kind of get in this rabbit hole and then you repeat it and then all of a sudden everyone goes crazy. Well, it's because you said that you thought that the Earth was flat. So I just think that his comments were. They don't tell me that at one point he did not believe that the Earth was flat.
Okay, so do you believe the Earth is flat?
Do I?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just kind of moronic, like that anyone would. I mean, it's just so dumb. Like the Earth is not flat. Like it's proven science. Like.
Have you ever seen
if you legitimately think the Earth is flat, like you're a complete idiot.
And please reach out. I'd love to have a beer with you.
So I want to say that first and foremost. Like if you think the Earth is flat, you are a complete dumbass. Like there is no way. Like I don't think if you believe the Earth is flat, like I don't think I would talk to you. Like if you honestly believe that it is flat, it is the dumbest concept. It's so dumb. Like
if you
do you not believe in pictures?
If
or
someone
any,
believes that the Earth is flat, I will definitely talk to you. I want to get an insight into what goes on inside your head.
I listened to what Kyrie said. He said he went down the YouTube rabbit hole of the Earth being flat. So I tried to do the same thing. So I went into YouTube and I typed in why people think the Earth is flat, and I tried to go down the rabbit hole, and it is the dumbest thing. Like you can't go down the rabbit hole.
No, because the first time I ever heard that people thought recently, not back in the whenever, I heard that people thought that the Earth was flat, and I just thought it was a joke, and I didn't understand how it was going on. So I've also tried to go down the rabbit hole, and the explanations at why it is flat, it is so dumb.
So Nick, they basically think. Okay, can I explain the flat Earth theory to people that are not aware? Because I went down the rabbit hole and I was like, this is so stupid. I can't believe anyone would ever think this. They think the Earth is a flat disc-like shape, okay? And that it spins around like a pizza. It just like circles around like a pizza. And all the countries are sitting flat. Okay, so now when you take a look, okay, fine. You think it's a disc flat-like shape. That means you do not believe in gravity, okay? It also means that there are points where you can fall off of the Earth because it's flat and gravity does not exist. So basically, they're saying that there is basically around the whole circle of the disc-like flat Earth is an ice wall.
And that's what the North and South Pole are.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that at some point, if it ever melts and you walk past it, you would essentially fall off.
Yeah.
So if the ice walls ever melt, then essentially the countries would float at some point and fall off of the Earth. Because gravity's not real and it's a flat disc-like shape.
It's really, really incredible.
So
Have you ever seen the tweet that Flat Earth Society posted, where they say there's literally people all around the globe that believe this, and then someone replied like, "Just say that out loud, but slower."
Okay, it's just so dumb, and If you believe the Earth is flat, you're unintelligent. Like you're very unintelligent. You're misinformed,
if you believe the Earth
you're
is flat,
sick.
we'd love to have you on the podcast to talk.
If anybody can give me a better explanation than what I was able to find, I would absolutely love.
Do you know what would make me so happy is if like Bobby Regan believed it, and just to argue with him about it would probably be. I know he's not that dumb.
There's no way that Bobby believes it. Like, we have satellites that show exactly what the shape of the Earth.
It's all CGI.
It's not. Like, it's absolutely not. And it makes it. It's just so dumb. It's a globe.
I often wonder too. It kills me too because people like. Have you never been in a plane?
I mean, you can see that
you can see the curvature of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, we can move on.
I wish Kyrie would just say, "Yeah, it's like it's not. The Earth is not flat."
But he didn't say it.
He didn't really say that, which he's such a weird guy.
But
he's really good at basketball.
He's like, but I'm a smart guy.
Yeah, he's really good at basketball. But I don't know what. I think he's just doing this to like. I think he enjoys the debate of it with people. I don't think Kyrie Irving actually believes the Earth is flat. Like I really don't. I really don't. Think
I don't either. But I do think at one point he did.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Which is
okay, all right. So Jim Harbaugh. This is our last topic of the day, actually. So our favorite football coach, Jim Harbaugh, because we are all Michigan fans here, which I know will probably make the majority of our listeners upset, being in Cincinnati, Ohio.
And 84% of people who made it this far have now turned it off.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. Well, homecoming is a important part of life, and Jim Harbaugh was asked about what the word homecoming meant to him. And he responded in only Jim Harbaugh fashion.
What does homecoming mean?
What does homecoming mean?
It's one of the great words in the English language. A homecoming. People coming back, whether it's a reunion or a get-together of a family. I mean, that's one of the top words in the English language.
All right.
He has got to just be messing with people.
I don't think so. I think it's really him.
No, do you really think that though? Really?
I don't know.
You think that that's his true and actual response? You know, or he's just annoyed by the question. I honestly just believe he's annoyed by the question. He's just like, you know what? These goddamn people coming in here asking me the dumbest stuff over and over and over again.
I don't know.
I'm just going to answer like an asshole.
Jim Harbaugh is such a unique and entertaining human being. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I think he's being entertaining. I think he's entertaining to him. And that's why he answers like
that. I mean, his answer was hysterical.
I love Jim.
I love Jim. I think sports are entertainment. Like, yeah, you want to win more than you lose. You want to win big games, but like,
well, they wouldn't
sports
be here
are
if they
fun.
didn't entertain
They're
us
fun.
They're
entertaining.
society,
I do think Jim Harbaugh has fun with these type of questions. Yes, I do think he's obviously a little bit crazy and has a very, very unique personality. But
do you think he would make it in the real world if like sports didn't exist? Do you think he'd like be? What do you think Jim Harbaugh would do?
Oh, he would be phenomenal as like a financial advisor, or I also think he would be anything that requires a lot of rules and guidelines. Like Jim Harbaugh would be very good at.
You think he'd be a good salesperson, or do you think more of managing and running a company?
No. I don't think Jim Harbaugh is a guy that you want out as an active salesman. I think he's behind the scenes hustling. Like I think he's a behind the scenes guy doing those big deals. I don't think he's like your outside
mergers
sales
and acquisitions
guy.
type of guy, just getting stuff
done.
done.
Or handling like chief financial advisor, something of that nature. Or maybe like doing ID checks somewhere.
See, I like to imagine my Jim Harbaugh as like a Walmart greeter. Just real excited, like rocking those khakis pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what you want about Jim Harbaugh, but I will say, like, if I can have the...
What do you think about his quote? Like,
about his what?
What do you think about his quote? So what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I mean, me personally, I would never have answered the question like he did. But I mean, he basically said that it's one of the best words in all of the English language. I mean, it's just like all of a sudden he got like very sentimental about the word homecoming. So I think maybe he has like some very good homecoming memories that he was responding to in his head. I don't know, but I don't think we'll ever know.
Could you imagine playing for him and him just like you asking him a pretty serious question like, coach, and just asking him something pretty serious about your life, and some of the off the wall answers you'd get, you'd be leaving that office more confused than when you got there.
Yeah, but I do think he's kind of like an inspiring person, though. I mean,
think
if,
so,
if
too.
I can have half of his energy and passion for what he does and put it into what I'm doing, then I'll probably be pretty successful.
How do you
so
get that? I'd love that.
it's impressive, man. That guy's got a high motor. He's obviously been very successful. We hope Michigan does well this season, but regardless, Jim Harbaugh, he's great for the game of college football. He's great for sports in general, and we love the entertainment that he provides. And, man, keep coming with those quotes, Jim, because it gives us topics to talk about. And it's better than that. What do you want him to say? Like the cookie cutter stuff that every other coach says, the same answer to every single question?
That's why he's just messing with people. I know it, because he's smart enough to understand that like all these questions are bullcrap. They're all the same article written across all 90 teams. Everyone's asking, how's the homecoming game affect? It doesn't freaking matter to them. They don't care. Do you think they give a shit that it's homecoming? No. It just brings in more dollars for the university. They don't care at all. It's just another week on the schedule. They're playing for bowl games.
Well, Jim, keep doing your thing on the interviews. Keep your passion up, and beat a rival. Beat a rival
Once,
too.
just for
We would
once in
like
your
that.
life.
Just can you beat somebody? I mean, and when I say somebody, I mean
Ohio
Penn
State.
State, Michigan State,
Yeah.
Ohio State.
I don't think they're going to beat them, either of them. I think they're going to lose to Penn State.
I think
and
they'll
Ohio
lose to
State.
Penn State, Ohio State. I think Michigan State's a toss-up. Yeah, but it is what it is.
Used to it.
All right. Well, we did miss Greg Wichard. Greg had to run off to work, unfortunately. But Nick,
Slacking.
this was good. That was
It's
around
fun.
the world.
Next time we do it, though, we're going to set the camera up wide and I'm going to sit in my seat because this felt weird.
Yeah, this is a little tough sometimes. We might have to think about when guests come here, maybe.
No, I'm not ever moving from that seat again.
We will not do that. So, guys, that was Around the World. And if you haven't already, be sure to check out interviews that we've done recently. Justin Dolman, professional basketball player in Spain. He's in his 12th year playing professionally. We had him on last week. We also had Dave Love, NBA shooting instructor that has worked with a handful of NBA teams over the last decade. Andy Mack was on earlier talking a little bit of Xavier hoops. We will continue to have Andy on to talk Big East basketball, Xavier basketball, as well as his thoughts on Cincinnati. And if you know Andy, you kind of know where those topics are going. But make sure you follow the Be Different podcast throughout the college basketball season on YouTube. It helps us a lot if you guys subscribe, you throw us a like, and if you go on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Like any of the reviews on Apple are extremely helpful, and they do help us get more traction.
Yeah, if you like Brad or even me, like a little bit, if you just get on there, hit subscribe and a review, even if unless it's going to be a shit review, don't do that. But like anything whatsoever helps us tremendously.
Yep.
We do this for free. We get up early to do it. Hopefully bring you guys some content that you enjoy, and that stuff helps us out huge.
Yeah, it does, because if you can just go on there, hit like a 5-star rating and say, enjoyed it, loved it, like this segment was fun, like that's all you need to do, and that helps you, with all of your rankings on Apple. So if you're listening to it and you don't do that, it's okay, but to help us out, it really does make a big difference, and it does help us get seen, and then Apple gets a hold of us, and we can get it to more places. So we appreciate you guys checking in with the Be Different podcast, and we will be back next week.
Great job, Brad.